Hello, Golden. How are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thanks for joining the Golden team. First of all, I have 3 onions in the plate. The two big ones are going to be used for the oil rice and the smaller one for the pepper sauce. For the onions, you can use the red onion or the white onion. I'm using both because I want variety in flavor. But if you have the red one, you can use it. If you have the white one, you can use it. Removing the skin of onions can be very annoying at times, especially when the first layer is very thin. So I mostly remove the second layer with the first layer, then go ahead and now remove the thin layer from the second layer. This makes it very easy for me. I did it to both the salad onion and the red onion, and it came out perfect, no waste. I go ahead to wash my onions and then slice. Ghana oil rice, anointed rice, vegan friendly rice, angwamo, angwamo, angwamu, whatever you choose to call it. Today I'm making angwamo oil rice or spiced oil rice in my kitchen. It's simply a rice fried in onion and oil. Angwamo has been a savior in one way or the other in so many homes in Ghana. And what I'm saying it from my heart because it has actually done a lot in my life and in the life of other homes I've visited where there was no food and that was the only option they hopped on. It's a classic dish for most Ghanaians and it's flavorful and a quick dish to make. So stay tuned. Ghanaians are known for cutting a lot of things with their fingers. They are not scared, it's not scary. It's very easy to work with, but sometimes you have to be careful to avoid the sharp knife from cutting your fingers. And also for diversity in cutting, it's advisable to use chopping board because sometimes when you are dicing your onion, if you don't take your time, you might cut your fingers. But slicing your onions is a little bit easier when you are doing it with fingers than dicing. But Ghanaians or Africans can do both with their fingers with ease. For my rice, I use this quantity. I'm good at eyeballing things when I'm cooking. I don't need to measure, but for precise measure, I use 2 cups of rice. I also added spaghetti for variation. I go ahead and put my saucepan on fire and allow the water to drain off. This is very advisable if your pan isn't dried before working. You have to let the water drain off so that when you add the oil, you don't get splashes onto your face. I use vegetable oil for this recipe. You can use whatever oil you have. It is advisable to use whatever oil, but for flavor, you can use coconut oil. I didn't have coconut oil, so I went ahead with vegetable oil. I tested my oil by putting one into the oil and later added the rest of the onion. I allowed it to caramelize, and the purpose for caramelization is to incorporate flavors into the dish you are preparing. Sometimes when the onion doesn't caramelize very well, it just makes it's not having flavor. I would say the flavor is mild, but when you caramelize your onions, you get this strong flavor. I go ahead to add my spaghetti. I don't add it when the onions are fully caramelized, but partially caramelized because when they are partially caramelized before adding the spaghetti, it allows both to cook very well. As you can see now, it's ready. The onions are fully caramelized. The spaghetti has browned enough. And if you don't put the rice at this point, I bet you are going to burn your ingredients. So I went ahead to add my washed rice. I washed my rice behind the scenes very, very, very well. I'm not a fan of eating rice without washing. So I added my rice, I added salt, I eyeballed my salt, as I said, I eyeballed everything and then gave it a stir, added water and covered for it to cook thoroughly. And I'm also not a fan of mixing rice whilst cooking. When I'm cooking rice, I want it to cook beautifully. And if you want a fluffy rice, allow the steam that comes from the rice to cook your rice beautifully. As you can see, the rice is cooking. I covered it so that it could cook thoroughly before I serve. So let's move straight into the pepper. For the pepper that we'll be using with the rice, I grinded 2 pepper. I made sure I grind it well to remove the seeds. We don't want seeds in our pepper. And also because the pepper has a lot of seed, I first grind that before adding my ginger. I crushed my ginger and then grinded. Went ahead to add my garlic. I prefer grinding my onions last because onions has fluid. So grinding it first will just cause a slimy texture in the earthenware, which will cause your grinding to be a little bit difficult for you. So I prefer to do it last, and that is what I'm doing. I'm chopping it into my grinded onion, ginger, and garlic, and give it a quick grind and set it aside. I'm leaving this quantity of onions for garnishing and frying my eggs. And guys, let me tell you, grinding things in an earthenware gives a different flavor from grinding things or blending things in a blender. It's totally different. And you can't compare blended things, the taste of blended things, to the taste of things grinded in an earthenware. No, you don't even go there at all. The earthenware grinding processes gives an extreme flavor that is it's out of this world. But because of time in the era we are and because of the quantity of things we do, we just have to hop onto technology and use the things that are causing us to do work efficiently and faster. I don't need much pepper for this recipe. And I don't also grind my pepper with tomato. And one more, I don't want tomato in my pepper. So this is onion, garlic, ginger, pepper, and that is it. I'm done. I'm setting it aside because if I don't set it aside, the earthenware will sip the juice out of the pepper, which I don't want. And also I have this green sauce which I made months ago, and I will be adding it to the rice. For my protein, I have sardine, I have egg, I have sausage, and I have plantain aside. It's not protein, but I have plantain, ripe plantain aside. For the sardine, I use the Rosalinda brand. I'm not promoting them, but it tastes good, so I have to just mention it. You have to give credit to who credit belongs. But first, let's work on our eggs. I used 1 egg. I'm eating this food alone, so just something little for me. I cracked 1 egg into my bowl. I love eggs and onions, but guys, this hurts me because I didn't have green onion, bell pepper, whatever you call it. I didn't have it and it hurt me. But I substituted it with tomato and onion, and tomato and onion in eggs is extreme. So I worked on my tomato. I don't like to fry my eggs and tomato with a seed in them, so I removed the seeds out of the tomato. I chopped my tomatoes into the egg and then added the onions and salt to taste. As I said, I eyeballed everything. I gave it a quick mix and set it aside for frying. I put my saucepan on fire, add sunflower oil. This is not vegetable oil, this is sunflower oil, and then poured my omelette into the fire and then allowed it to fry beautifully. I like using the word beautifully, but it is what it is. It's ready. I like my eggs golden brown. It's ready, and this is how I want my egg. African blood runs in my veins, and this is how I want my eggs so that I can enjoy and not nauseate. After I work on my sausages, I'm not a fan of sausages, guys. I find it difficult eating sausages. So sometimes I look surprised when people are actually eating sausages raw without frying. It blows my mind. I see them to be disgusting. Pardon me if it offends you, but like when I see you doing that, I'm like, what I picture in my mind is you're adding raw chicken to food and eating. That is how I picture it. It's not my fault, my bad, but I decide to fry. I choose to fry, so I'm slicing so that I can fry. Before frying, I also cut the plantain, the ripe plantains down so that immediately after frying the sausages, I can go ahead and fry the plantain. Frying sausages does not take a long process. It needs small oil, but I made the oil a little bit plenty because I would be using the same oil for frying my plantains. So I basically fried my sausages You can see it frying. It takes a short while to fry. And when you fry your sausages, it's very delicious. If you're a fan of not frying your sausages, I would advise you to fry it and just get some variety and a different taste. Oh, and guys, don't add salt to your sausages because it is very, very, very salty. And you don't want to abuse yourself with salt. Sometimes I'm feeling lazy to use the right tools when I'm cooking. I'm supposed to use the right tool to remove the sausage from fire, but I prefer to use a knife and fork. We are not used to using right utensils for cooking, but some of them use it anyways. I'm frying my plantain. I wasn't happy for the plantain because it wasn't ripe. I want overripe plantains. I'm not a fan of hard ripe plantain. And guys, because of the oil on the sausage, I decide to wipe it off. Anytime I fry something without using the right utensils to pick them out and it comes out with lots of oil, I prefer to clean it with tissue to reduce the quantity of oil on it. Yeah, it's ready. I've wiped it, and then these are the things that is going to go along with the Angwa, that's oil rice. And finally, sardines. I love sardines, but sometimes when I'm eating it, I'm like, this looks disgusting, but why do I love it? Anyways, I grew up eating it, and I can't deny the fact that they are they are delicious. I try to first pour the oil into a bowl. I don't discard it, no. I try to pour the oil into a bowl before opening the can and adding the sardines to it so that I can avoid spillage. Yeah, this is it. So juicy. Guys, look at the sausages like bacon. Oh my goodness. And this is it. This is the pepper. This is the spiced pepper. These are my garnishing onions. And this is my rice. Guys, the rice is colorful, even though you can't see colors, different colors inside. It's goldenly colorful. So because the saucepan is a non-stick saucepan, you can easily pick it out. So it's shaking. So I decided to fluff it up with my fork and then fish it with my spoon, with my ladle beautifully. I'm the one going to eat it, so I don't want to overload myself. Because, guys, let me tell you, anwamo, when you follow the taste and the aroma of anwamo, you overeat. And I tell you that I overate that day. And I ate around 12 p.m. in the afternoon, and I couldn't eat anything till the following morning, 10 a.m. That shows how satisfying this food is. And on the thumbnail, I say rich for rich and for poor. Guys, angwamo is a type of dish that when you are preparing, no matter who you are, when you smell it and you're passing by, as long as you like angwamo, you would crave for it. And what inspired me by making this recipe this morning is I saw my neighbor doing it, a guy. He was doing it. I was like, let me also do some. It seems I have all the ingredients for angwamo. And guys, I took my ingredients and I decided to do angwamo. So you see, little things inspires little things. And I decided to make it in such a way that the rich can eat it, the poor can eat it. Guys, the poor mostly don't eat it with plantain, sausages, eggs, and sardine. They just get their rice, they fry their rice in their onion, grind their pepper, and they eat. And it's very delicious. Without this protein, it's very, very delicious. The onions serve as their meat, and it's but but the rich wants to sometimes do some shenanigans on the food, and this is how the rich would consume. It's overload and Guys, pardon me if I'm into the food because as I was doing the voiceover, I was flashbacking onto the food I ate that day. It was extreme. And guys, this food can never be compared to jollof. It can never be compared to rice. It stands on its own. It's unique. If you compare this food with another food, you are just worrying yourself. You are just disregarding the food. The food. This food stands on its own. Is traditional Ghana's food for the rich and for the poor, unless the person does not like rice or the person does not like anwamo in general. But I've not seen a lot of people reject this food, and I've seen lots of people also eat. And for your information, the town that I am in right now, this is the food they invest in. Every corner you go, you see them selling and one more with pepper because egg is like a common thing here. And if egg is common and they can just fry egg on top of rice and put pepper, why not? So they go into that business a lot, and everybody likes it. Not everybody, but a lot of people likes it. I ate the food. I couldn't go further, but when I set it aside and I keep looking at it from far, something just makes me want to eat. And I took it and I ate and ate and ate, and finally, I was done. I was like, no, I'm not going again. I'm done. I covered it and forgot about the food. And that is it. I enjoy this food, authentic and one more recipe for rich and for poor. Everyone can make it, anyone can enjoy it, and it's very delicious. And I urge you, if you are a foreigner and you come to Ghana, this is one of the food you need to try. It's better than fried rice. So guys, that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, if you learned something, if you realize that anwamu is something you can make in a quick, then hit the thumbs button, hit the like button, share this video to family and friends, comment down below, and then subscribe for more videos like this. At first I used to say subscribe if you want, but no, if you are a golden team, if you watch my videos, it is compulsory for you guys. Don't subscribe if you want, because why will I say if you want? In marketing, you should be able to convince the person to subscribe. So subscribe for more videos like this. And until next time, peace.